Welcome back. Note to students and substitutes. Students, you got to focus at your seat. Be in your assigned seat. Don't be somewhere else. Don't be up on anything. Obviously, you're going to sit in your seat at a desk and take care of business. Number two, remind the substitute to pause the video. All right, and I'll talk to the substitute now briefly. Please pause the video when prompted. Number two, prompts to pause are usually followed by a whistle of the song Moonglow by Benny Goodman. That sounds like this. And you'll hear variations on that melody and that motif each time. You should pause. And students, I'm asking you to remind the substitute, and should you have two over the course of the block, please remind the second substitute that when they hear that Moonglow melody and motif, they should pause it so you can get the work done. Don't fall behind. All right. Those of you without computers today, and if there's no one without a computer in class today, you guys are awesome. Way to be. But just in case your dog ate your computer last night and is currently at the vet, no worries. You can use scrap paper. It doesn't have to be loose leaf paper like you see pictured here. And what I'll be doing as the video goes along is I'll be taking the time and coming up with some sentence starters. Sometimes I'll give you one sentence starter to use 3 times. Sometimes I'll give you 3 separate sentence starters. Sometimes I'll give you 2 sentence starters. Sometimes I'll ask you just to write down an observation or something that you noticed. So most of your work, if you are without a computer today, will be done on the notice and wonder chart. Much of the work that you'll be doing today, my students without a computer, will be on a notice and wonder chart that you make on a scrap sheet of paper. It's a big T chart. Well, even though I'm not here, you still got your I. You got your I, you got that I, you got that W. Ooh, don't let that W, it's just a WB. A, that letter B, just write that B, didn't get that A. A, 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 now grab that T. I will be able to. Here's a verb for y'all, explore. And here's a second verb for you, and evaluate Native American history presentations in the text, We Are Still Here. Um, Please write this down in your notebook or scrap paper. If you are using a computer, you can just take a moment and appreciate the 2 different colors here, explore and evaluate history presentations. Since you're prepared with a computer today, you can just always come back to these target slides. Those of you with paper, it would be a good idea for you to right now write that target. And what is that target again? I will be able to explore and evaluate Native American history presentations in the text, We Are Still Here. And you could write that above or you could write that below the T chart. Let's pick it up together on slide 6. Let's all go together to slide 6. On slide 6, there are 2 separate word clouds. The one on the left, that left-hand word cloud, which it has in the center, right, separating the neck from the head, Navajo, right? This is from Code Talker. Reviews are added to this word cloud, as is the parts of the novel itself. Okay, and what I'd like you to do, besides highlighting Navajo and code, is to highlight any words you think might answer this essential question. When is it right to take a stand? When is it right to take a stand? I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to switch the color over to orange. Could you please switch the color over to orange too? And please highlight 3 words on the left that you feel help to answer the question, when is it right to take a stand? Please take the time to do that now. Excellent. Now that you've had a chance to highlight 3 words that you think they'll answer that question, when is it right to take a stand, please switch the highlighter over to purple. And what I'd like you to do is the same thing, but this one is for the book, We Are Still Here. So you'll see Native, Americans, story, all of these, justice, all of those 4 words could certainly help answer that question, when is it right to take a stand? I'd like you to find another 3 using the red highlighter on this word cloud here based on the text we're about to take a look at. Please do so now. Excellent. Now that you've had a chance to highlight three words on the left that answer the essential question and three words on the right that answer the essential question, let's go ahead and get into the text itself. So, for those of you with a notice and wonder chart, I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm happy to spell it out for you. I need you to write this sentence three times. One thing I noticed about the word clouds was, and then I'd like you to take care of that three times. I'd like you to take care and use that sentence starter. One thing I noticed about the word cloud was three times. You can put those three on the notice side of your chart. Those of you sitting next to someone who came prepared with a computer today, feel free to take a peek at their slide 6 in case you need a closer look or don't remember what you were looking at on the screen. All right. Slide 8, everyone with a computer. Let's take a look at a guiding TDA prompt. There are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. What word from that first sentence seems to jump out at you? We'll go over here to the presenting students, grab that top red dot, and I'd like you to take a moment now to place that red dot on what you think is the most important word in that first sentence. Please do so now. Excellent. The next one, please grab this next red dot, goes with which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay examining their presentation. Well, I'd like you to find the next most important word in those second pair of sentences. Excellent. Proceed, please, to slide 9. Slide 9, directions. Read the text for the first time and annotate along the way. Say less. Ooh. So we are still here as the text. Native American students were asked to present on a topic relating to the history and way of life of Native Americans in the United States. Here are two presentations, and you can see the student over here is putting the presentation together. They're cutting out pictures. If you can move the one magnifying glass to the pair of scissors, and you'll see that they're coloring in a picture of a group of Native Americans there. I'm going to put that second one on the colored pencils over there. The big idea here is we're going to put it on top of the fact that they were asked to present the history and way of life of Native Americans in the United States. Let's put it on the presentations. That's the most important thing we need to remember. These are students presenting. Do you have a question about anything that you see? Yes, my question is, what are you drawing in the middle there? What's that red going to be? And then finally, the check mark, the learning target, presenting history. What about their clothing makes you think that this might not be a modern day picture that they're drawing? All right. So if you could take a moment and move your check marks, the check mark, the question mark, the light bulb, and the two magnifying glasses, please move those to where I have them on the screen. This is what annotating is. Excellent work. Let's proceed to slide 11. So, prompt once again, there are many dimensions of oppression of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting the information? Write an essay examining the presentation. Again, their essay is to be doing what? Examining the presentation. There seems to be a connection between those two things. The presentations themselves is the big idea. I wonder what's written in that last little word down there is my question. And for today's learning target, everybody's coming to school for history, including families, moms and dads, and uncles, aunts, grandpas, and grandmas. Our native nations, slide 12. Our native nations have always been here. We are indigenous to the continent now called North America. Well, I see that pronoun we, and in the next sentence, I see the pronoun are, possessive pronoun, are leaders, are sovereign and have power to make rules. Our way of life changed when white people, Billy Ganas, arrived from Europe. In 1776, white people broke free from England and created their own country called the United States of America, which affected our lives even more. Like European rulers before them, the leaders of the new U.S. government signed legal agreements called treaties with our native nations. These treaties recognize the sovereignty of our native nations to exercise control and power over our people and lands. Despite the continued occupation of our homelands, regular attacks on our sovereignty, and being mostly forgotten in U.S. culture, native nations all say, we are still here. I noticed the big idea is that we are still here. That's also the title. I have a question. What's economic development? If you don't know what that is, you might be thinking or wondering. And today's learning, it looks like she's the teacher's equipping the student with some extra text to help with his research. All right, please annotate your slide just like mine. Excellent work. Slide 13, a baker's dozen. You'll notice here that we just get a reminder of our guiding prompt. There are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay examining their presentation. Please annotate this slide similarly to the last few. Go ahead, try it on your own. So, the first presentation that we're going to take a look at is right over here, and the title of the presentation is called Assimilation. Say that after me, real quick. Assimilation. Very good. So, this is Wenona's presentation, or no, Wenona's presentation with a W. Assimilation. Most U.S. leaders did not respect our ways and thought it would be better for us to adopt their beliefs and practices. From the country's earliest days, white men sought to weaken our native nation's power to govern, destroy native families by taking our children away, outlaw and sending them to boarding schools, outlaw our sacred practices, and punish us for speaking our own languages. Even under these harsh laws, native nations say we are still here. Well, I notice that there's a teacher being somewhat severe to these students who are dressed all the same. There's my connection. The big idea seems to be that they're made to look the same, and there's a contrast between the nature and what they're being forced to be. My question is, why are they all listening so much? Why is only one student looking out the window when it should be everyone attracted to nature? And then finally, today's target learning about history, they were punished for their sacred practices. We know that word sacred. Please take a moment to make your notes look just like Mr. Surface's. Now, let's take a moment and we're going to use the red prompts or the red dots, and they'll be placed on the prompt. The purple dots will place on the text, and the orange dots will place on a visual that supports our answers to it. So there are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay about examining their presentation. Well, first I noticed this word toughness or resilience of Native Americans. I think that's one important word. Where do I think this second one might go, and which student does the best job presenting this information? Which word seems most important to you? Go ahead and place that red dot now where you think that second red dot should go. Next, we have our two purple dots. Our two purple dots, which are not always easy to see. All right, there's our one purple dot, and our other purple dot is around there somewhere. I can't see it on my nighttime mode. Oh, there it is. Boom. So they're going to go in two places in the text. One will do together, and one will do on your own. Well, if this is about which student does best, I noticed the student's name is up there when Wenona's presentation. All right, where do you think the most powerful part of the presentation is? Take a moment and put your purple dot where you think that should go, down here. And then finally, this yellow dot here. This yellow dot. Oh, I'm having some trouble seeing. But the yellow dot, oh, down there. Please drag that yellow dot to a part of the page where the picture helps to answer the story. Me, I like this horse out here. I think that's a fun detail that reminds you of what they were meant to give up instead of when they assimilated into American culture. You can put it wherever you like right now. Now, here is a paragraph that's responding to this prompt on the left. What I'd like you to do is to turn on the highlighter, please, and to move that highlighter back over to the color yellow. Highlight the following words from the prompt. Highlight those words from the prompt as I highlight them on the screen. There are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Please take a moment to do that, to highlight those two words. Excellent. Now, let's see what parts of the paragraph cover this prompt, and we'll highlight those parts that go along with the presentation that the student does and what she talks about Native Americans and toughness. Uno momento. So, the student already, I see that is from the prompt. The student talks about how Native Americans, that's from the prompt as well, faced challenges. They had to be tough and resilient. That connects as well. When the U.S. leaders tried to change their ways, they wanted Native Americans to follow their customs instead. Since the early days of the country, white men called Biliganas and Navajo tried to weaken Native nations. They did this by taking children from their families and sending them to schools far away, like Ned Begay and the Code Talker. They also made laws to stop Native Americans from practicing their traditions and punish them for speaking their own languages. Despite these tough times, Native nations still proudly say, "We are still here." They did a wonderful job with this paragraph. Can you take a moment, please, to highlight those emojis at the end and also all the other words that I did that show that they're answering that prompt on the left? Please do so now. Excellent. For those of you without a computer today, you are certainly welcome to take a look at that T chart now. And we can go back to this slide 18 if you're sitting next to someone by slide 18. And please take the time to finish this sentence starter 3 times. And the sentence starter I'd like you to finish is this: I noticed in the paragraph that dot dot dot. Please finish that sentence starter 3 separate times. 1, 2, 3. And they'll all go where the arrow is pointing right over here into the noticed. What are 3 things that you noticed in this paragraph on slide 18? Take the time to fill out that T chart, those of you who are working on paper now. Excellent. Let's look at another paragraph. Bless you. The student explains how Native Americans were pressured to change their customs by U.S. leaders. They didn't respect Navajo ways and wanted them to act like white Americans. I think that's so true and summarize it so well. I'm highlighting that whole sentence. This meant taking children away from their families and sending them to schools where they couldn't speak their languages. Just like in the story of Ned Begay, laws were made to stop Native Americans from doing their ceremonies and speaking their languages. But even with all these challenges, Native nations still stand strong and say, "We are still here." Please take the time to make your screen look like Mr. Surface's. Those of you who just looked at slide 20 and may not have a computer can certainly look at the screen now, and we can pause it. And uh, on your T chart, I'd like you to finish this sentence 3 times. I wonder if these Native American transplants were dot dot dot. Please finish that sentence there. I wonder if these Native American transplants were. These are the transplants, of course, that were sent to the boarding schools. Please take a moment to use those highlights there from the paragraph to fill in the right hand side of your T chart. Please do so now. Excellent. If you haven't put your name at the top of that paper yet, my non computer havers, please do so now. I would like you to please change the color of the highlighter from yellow to orange to highlight parts of the prompt that you're noticing are showing up more and more in these excellent paragraphs, and then to highlight the words that match in this paragraph over here. Please take the time to annotate and highlight important words in this paragraph and in this prompt now. Excellent. You will have highlighted different words. I wanted you to try on your own. Those of you with a T chart, of course, you should have take the time to write down some of the things that you notice and wonder about this paragraph. So those of you who need a pause for your paper, please take a pause for the cause now. All right, let's take a second look at the prompt. There are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay examining their presentation. Well, let's take a peek. The next one, we looked at this one up here. We're going to take a closer look at this one. It's called Language Revival. Language Revival. This is a presentation by Chugi. Chugi's presentation, Language Revival. Native nations wanted to increase the number of tribal language speakers. I'm going to put a magnifying glass on this speaker, and I see this teacher is reading from a alphabet book of tribal alphabet. So I'm going to put the magnifying glass on that too. This is necessary to pass on values, stories, and ceremonies to future generations. Seeking to preserve our cultures, Native nations urged Congress to approve laws to encourage teaching native languages in schools, allow our native speakers to teach in classrooms, and give financial grants to tribes and schools for language programs. Speaking indigenous languages strengthens our heritage, so each native nation says, in our own language, we are still here. Well, we are still here is that big idea. My question is this Navajo over here? I'm not sure if it is or not. Oh, it looks like it's Cherokee because it says Cherokee syllabary. And then finally, the big idea here seems to be about native languages. All right. So please take a moment to make your slide 25 look like Mr. Surface's slide 25. Let's take a closer look. Just like we did on a previous slide, we're going to take these two red dots and put them on the most important part of the prompt. Take a moment to drag your red dots above the word there, and then during this whistling session, please move those two red dots to the two most important words in the prompt. Excellent. Now, these two purple dots, we can go next to language revival, the heading at the top. What are two words from the text below that you feel help to answer this prompt to the left on the left hand side of the screen? Take a moment to move those two purple dots to two important words now. And then finally, what's a picture? What's an image that helps you to answer this prompt here to the left? Where can you put this yellow dot to help identify an explanatory or illustrative or demonstrative image that goes along with the prompt? He broke his leg. So, a reminder of the prompt and that we're judging these different. It's like we're one of the judges tonight. There are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay examining that presentation. Let's go to slide 29. Well, here is a response to that question. We're going to do the first one together, and then the next two you will annotate on your lonesomes. All right. For those of you who do not have a working computer, you will be writing down what you notice and wonder about each paragraph. I would like you to write two things that you notice and two things that you wonder for each, which totals six on each side by the end or conclusion of this slideshow. Please, let's take the time to highlight, turning on my highlighter, turning on my yellow, to highlight the important words from the left-hand side. There are many dimensions to the resilience, or another word for resilience, toughness of Native Americans in this country. All right. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Well, let's see if this paragraph addresses that prompt. The student talks about how important it is for Native Americans to keep their languages alive. They say that languages help pass down stories, traditions, and special ceremonies to younger generations. Native American groups have been asking the government to make laws that support teaching their languages in schools. They also want to have Native speakers teach in classrooms and get money to start language programs. By speaking their own languages, Native Americans show that they're still strong and proud, even after facing tough times. Please take a moment to make your screen look just like mine, to make your slide 29 look just like my slide 29. Please do so now. On slide 30, a reminder for those of you on the notice and wonder side. We are nearing the end, the last two paragraphs of this inquiry and exploration. So, if you could please number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the left hand side of the notice underneath what you've already written. There, you will notice 6 more things based on the next two paragraphs. I would also, please, like you to wonder 6 more things as well. How do we achieve that? Well, here on the wonder side, you will number 1, 2, forgot my dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This has you noticing 6 things in the next two paragraphs or wondering about 6 things in the next two paragraphs. You are certainly welcome to use these sentence starters to help you get there, right? I noticed, or I wonder if dot dot dot. Or not just if, but you can do if slash about. All right. So for those of you on paper, not an excuse for not doing anything. You got to make sure you stay focused every second of your life when you're in school, at least until July. All right. Please take a moment and get those sentence starters and numbers on your T chart. Teacher, substitute, please go around and check to make sure that those working on scrap paper number this, have their names on it, have already written things that go along with the video. And if not, it is certainly time for them to kick it into gear. All right. Please take the time to make your papers look like this now. Well, it ain't all that hard, y'all. I'm going to be reading the next two slides to you out loud and prompting you to annotate. Just like always, we're going to turn on our highlighter, switch on over to orange. You'll be reading the prompt and the paragraph each time. Please make sure you highlight both in the prompt and paragraph. There are many dimensions to the resilience and toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job, whoopsie daisy, which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay examining their presentation. The student explains that Native Americans are working hard to make sure their languages don't disappear. They want to teach kids and others to speak their languages so they can keep their culture alive. The student talks about how important it is to have laws that support this, like letting native speakers become teachers and giving their money. Yeah, sure, buddy. Give me a second. Now, as a reminder, you'll be using your highlighter on the prompt, right? And this side too. Oops, accidentally left that one on. So I'm going to take away those little lines. So please take the time to annotate the prompt and parts of this paragraph now. For this slide, I would prefer a different color besides orange or yellow. All right, I'm going to go with green here. There are many dimensions to the resilience or toughness of Native Americans in this country. Which student does the best job presenting this information? Write an essay examining their presentation. Paragraph response. In their presentation, the student talks about why it's important for Native Americans to speak their own languages. They say that languages hold the stories and traditions that make each tribe special. Native Americans are asking for help from the government to make sure their languages survive. They want laws that encourage teaching their language in schools and funding for programs to help people learn. By speaking their languages, Native Americans are saying proudly, "We're still here." Please take a moment to annotate the left hand prompt and the right hand prompt. Finally, now that you've annotated all these slides and have just done a beautiful job following along, we can finish, if you're finished early, right, because this probably took us to the edge of glory, is figuring out where these words to the right are in this word search. First Nations, language, revival, assimilation, indigenous, we are still here. All of those words are here in this word search. Your goal is to find them all and highlight them. Please make sure you use the highlighter and not the pencil, as that will cancel out the word and you'll end up searching forever. So please take the time now to complete this word search. When you're done, it is likely that you'll be moving on to your next class. Students, thank you for dealing with my absence, and substitutes. The same exact thing. Thank you for helping out these students today. All right, I'll be back soon. Have a good one.